You see the patriotic flags. This is for the purpose for the football. Rachel and I went to some pub with all our friends. We were there till very early in the early hours of the morning.
Okay.
There's lots of cheering and, So I think England will get knocked out in the next stage, but we'll see. It would be a miracle if they beat Argentina, but then we have France. France are brilliant.
Yeah. Rachel said you spent 2/3 of your time in London.
Yes.
And probably 1/3 of your time here.
Yeah.
So you prefer London life?
Yes, I tend to come here in the morning, in the weekend, and she comes to London during the week. That's it. Quite often she's here on her own. I'm in London on my own. But all my activities are there, the universities, the business. I also have dancing classes and gym and, But she has her friends here. It's quite a rich part of Britain. There is a joke that this has a class division between the have and the have-yots. There's a lot of wild horses. We'll see something. A lot of the forest is like this. It's a mixture of trees and
This is really nice.
And this is one of the horses here. There are hundreds that mostly they're hiding from the sun. Right?
Ah, the horse.
Yeah, there's more on the other side.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of they also cattle.
Oh.
Well, they roam free here. They're not in.
They are very free. I mean, I noticed that when I travel around the UK, most of the time animals, especially in Scotland, animals are very free everywhere. So people are not annoyed like they block the traffic or...
Well, it is accepted that in the New Forest they're free to roam.
Oh.
So nobody has any. In fact, there is protection of the animals. If people are driving carelessly and they kill them, then they can be prosecuted.
Is it unique in New Forest area or?
There are a few. Yeah, Dartmoor is another place. I don't know whether Rachel explained that this place we're going, it is an estate, about 100 acres, and it's been there for 1,000 years.
Yes.
From the Norman conquest. But Rachel and her ex-husband, they bought it with the whole estate.
Yeah.
But as she got older, she sold off most of it to her son, so she now has a small holding within the estate for growing hay and for horses. Well, this is the estate, right?
Is it very common for British people that they always want to have a farm?
Not many, no.
Not many.
It's very difficult to make a living. The problem is some very beautiful farms in the mountains and so on, which are lovely to look at, but they don't get a big enough income. The farms that make a good income are around Cambridge, East Anglia, have very big farms with combine harvesters and so on.
Many farmers in China, if they only like do the farming as a living, it's also very difficult.
Yeah.
But nowadays they have been developed their farm into like tourist area.
Yes, this is sort of what's happening here.
Oh, also what's happening here.
And also the government now pays money to keep the natural, because to keep the bees and the birds and so on, which are disappearing.
Ah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
And in the wet in the winter, sometimes it's not possible. The thick bogs, but mostly you can do a good long walk around here. We use bicycles.
Yeah. The bicycle is much better. So you are going to visit China again
Yeah.
this September. Actually, before, when you visit China last time, you already said you've been to China several times before, right?
Yeah, about five, I think.
Yeah. I was wondering which time was the most memorable time, and you had changed your
No,
idea
I
about
think
China
no,
most.
I think the last time when I went with you was probably the most memorable because I was doing different things, meeting new people, whereas most of the others I went as a minister, so you're meeting politicians. It's very formal. And the first time I went was with Shell. That was business. So. No, I think that was a more, and I saw more variety. So I think when you go as an official politician, right, you see what people want to show you. Right? But I thought last time was more authentic. Just watch where you're walking because a snake has been seen here. I'm sure it's okay, but just so it can happen. Yeah.
So we'll be interested with the village visiting plan.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah.
And I had made a request to go to see Xi'an, which I had not seen before.
Yeah. I think we can make a plan to let you travel from one place to the other.
Yeah. Oh dear. They're
really nice.
These animals are alpaca. There used to be 5, but the 2 of them were attacked by dogs and killed.
By dogs?
The dog there. People bring dogs on the forest for, recreation, and they get very excited by the animals, and they kill them.
Okay. And after dog killed the animals, what happened to the dogs?
They're put down, I think.
Okay.
Hello, Eton. Well, I'm out on a walk with our friends from China. Well, this evening should be good. Is it anything you want to urgent issue I can talk now about? Yeah, sort of after 7. Yeah. Yeah, on Rachel's number is good. Okay. Yeah, okay, bye.
It seems he likes you.
I think they're just very bored.
Do any people feed them, or they just?
Natural feed?
I don't know what they eat, to be honest. I think that there's a man based at the house who gives them a regular daily. Well, I don't know what they eat. I think probably grass.
No, I think he's just curious about us.
Yeah.
He's curious about people. When you're walking around, is this more often that you see your neighbors, or is all about you and
Well, we
Rachel?
often see Rachel's son, who lives at the house. That was where Rachel used to live. But she's moved to she built her own house, the one you've seen. But her son's family now live there, and we see them a lot. But these people we never see. It's some millionaire who has bought an expensive property. He's never there.
Okay. So they bought their properties like recently, but they didn't really live here.
Well, it's a complicated story because Rachel's lived here. They had a very bad fire burned down, but Rachel escaped with children. And it was then taken over by another man who rebuilt it like a kind of Canadian log cabin, but that also burnt down. So then somebody new came and they built a brick.
How long has the building been there?
Oh, maybe 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's very valuable property, so some very rich people buy.
Okay. So
This is normally a lake, but because of the drought, it's completely dry.
Okay.
Is Alan okay? She's having to hold the hat.
Yeah. You know, usually in China, if a house has been burned down twice,
Yeah.
people will be not willing to buy the place again
Yes.
because they will think they were
But bad
like,
spirits.
lucky,
That's yeah.
unlucky. The British people or
The more practical. Yeah. No, the lake is completely dried because we have geese and other birds nesting here, but all the water's gone.
it's only this year or
Well, I think it's particularly bad this year. In the winter, this is flooded. You know?
okay.
I see there's a lonely deer.
Oh yeah, we see it.
There's usually about 20 together, but this one I think is orphan. It's got lost.
This is a huge land, but we didn't see many animals here.
No.
So it's very different from what we saw before, or in China, either in China or in UK. Because normally, if it's a big land, usually it's like lots of animals living here. Is
Yeah,
it very unique?
It's a very low density, but the land is mainly used for growing crop.
Agriculture.
Yeah, for hay.
Oh,
Rachel's fields, they have hay. It was harvested about a month ago,
oh,
and this one is also hay. But those horses who are living here, it's a little bit of space. You know, they like to be able to explore a little bit. And in the winter, of course, it's all mud, so they need more area. Yeah.
yeah.
But these deer, there are many come past the farm all the time, and they're eating the grass. Yeah.
Will you help Rachel with farming or management of this area?
Well, when I first came here, I helped a little bit with the harvest and also delivering the calves because she used to have cows here, cattle,
House.
beef cattle.
Yeah.
But she decided to give it up. I used to help a little bit with that, but now it's not necessary.
Okay.
My only real job is to pick thistles. You know thistles?
The
The very painful.
yeah.
I'll show you when we get.
Yeah.
But it spoils the grass, so you have to pick them out by hand.
Okay. Yeah, show us. I have no idea what that means.
The problem for the lad's hat here.
What do you like most about this area?
It's
the
it's very beautiful variety of things. In the springtime, this is rhododendron, huh? So you get beautiful colours. All of this is purple or pink. I think rhododendrons originally came from China, actually, but they're very popular here. Also, you see the cone
Yeah, I know.
we use for the fire.
We use this for decoration.
Also
Yeah.
decorative.
So in winter time, you use the fire most of the time,
Yeah.
or other.
Well, we have a fire.
Okay.
Wooden cones. Yeah.
So you get the wood from the tree, or
Yeah.
are you allowed to cut the trees here?
Yeah, it's owned by the farm. So. But usually what happens every winter, some trees get blown down in storms, so we use the wood for the fire.
So you pick the ones. not Rachel that live here, will you also choose to live here like 1/3 of your time? A place like this?
Well, I like walking in, but it's otherwise very quiet. It's good for working, but not. There's not much else to do in the country village. And if you live in London, of course, that's near to all the universities, business, and so on. This is rather beautiful.
Yeah.
You can use your imagination in a children's story. Huh?
This is a tree or...
Yeah, the roots of a tree when it collapses. We call this the sand walk. This is just a name for this path that Rachel maintains for walking.
Rachel gave the name
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this land. Is there any like special reason?
I don't know, it's been forgotten in history somewhere.
Okay.
I see James sees the potential for a children's story, huh?
Is it very common that people will move to country like villages like this, or it's not common?
Yeah, well,
mean-
sometimes people who are very well off, they buy a big house here, they want quiet, they want the countryside. Yeah. So you get a lot of people retiring here.
Yeah. So after for people retire, they tend to put house here,
Yeah, there's a
not
lot of...
live in the city center.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Got a lot of butterflies here. Huh?
Yeah, butterfly. This one? This area is very different from the one we walked before. It's like this land have 4 seasons within a very short distance.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's very remarkable. Any other thing special about this area?
Well, it's the piece of... What is unique about it is the vegetation is... The forest authorities, they try to stop alien vegetation. Well, you go into more forest area, and it's as it was thousands of years ago. They're trying to stop importing foreign trees. It's called ancient woodland.
Asian woodland.
Ancient woodland. Yeah.
Ancient woodland.
Yeah.
Okay.
And somewhere around here we have the Badger motorway. Because there's badgers live in this hill, lots of badgers. And we say they use a motorway and they dig for worms in the field.
Oh.
But you won't see them this time of day. Ah, yes, you've now got the herd here. Oh, they're a bit frightened. See they're running?
Ah.
They always keep 200 yards. Oh, look at the big bird.
Oh yeah.
That's a raptor.
A raptor.
See, climbing up.
Yeah,
That's a buzzard, probably.
buzzard.
It's a small eagle.
Okay.
But Rachel loves it here, see, that's why we have this 2/3, 1/3.
Yeah, yeah. When I asked this, I thought it would be like you spend most of time like in London or here together.
Yeah.
But it's surprised that she said 2/3 of her time in here and 2/3 of her time in London.
Well, it's partly friends, partly she loves it here, partly, she does things like painting, she has a peaceful setting. Yeah.
So you feel okay that you both have your own life.
Yeah, we have a lot of overlap and we're very happy, but we also have our own life. Yeah.
But when you are like with yourself in London,
Yeah.
where you feel like lonely or you want
Yes,
to be
yes,
together with you?
somewhat, and she also feels lonely, but we don't want to change.
You don't want to change. Okay. I learned that actually you have a very diverse career life. You did lots of different jobs.
Yeah.
And you only start your life in politics at a very late stage of your life, nearly 57, right?
Yeah,
Become an MP.
yeah.
So, many young people in China, they will say that they don't really want a life that they can see the end of their life from the point of now. But they are very afraid of a second act in their life, like change a career or quit their current job. So,
I think people here may be also having that, but I think you have to be brave and take risks. Otherwise, your mind dies.
but when you take the second act of your life, what motivation made the change?
Curiosity, ambition. I wanted to do something bigger.
You want to do something bigger. And if you have any recommendation for the young kids, young generation now, what will you say to them?
You have to be willing to experiment, to try, to do new things. I don't like this laid-back attitude. Because we have it here, you have it in China also.
Yeah. And also, in every change in your career life, you made a successful change.
Well,
Did you
mostly.
ever have any unsuccessful experience?
Yes, I think when I was younger, I made some bad choices. I spent 3 years doing a PhD thesis, which was, I think, a terrible waste of time.
In Glasgow.
Yeah.
Actually, that's another interesting question because I have a friend who did the undergraduate in Cambridge like you, and then he did PhD in a German university.
Oh, there's the big bird. Look,
Wow!
enormous. Do you see it?
I didn't. I only see the shadow.
I think it was an owl, actually.
Okay. Why is the decide to have your PhD in Glasgow, will you have the concern that I graduate from the top university in UK, but then I continue to that famous university? Will you have a concern about that?
Well, people told me that you need to have a PhD to be taken seriously, but I spent 3 years on my own, just writing. It wasn't very stimulating. I think I would have been better doing something completely different, working in private sector or something. Yeah. Because too many people are doing academic qualifications just for the sake of it, to get some letters after their name. I didn't find mine very helpful. Let's get quite a nice picture of this side. The farm is the same on the other side. This is about half the area.
Will life more like a circle or like a straight line?
That's a very profound question. I suppose I've tried to live life as a straight line, but with lots of bends. Yeah.
What will you describe as the best in your life?
Well, every time you make a big change, marriage, bereavement, and then remarriage, they are big changes. Yeah.
I think for British, like.
Well, there is a bit of a choice here. If James or somebody is a bit bored, they can just a shortcut back to the house. But I was going to take you outside the farm into the more forest areas, whichever you prefer.
What do you think will be very special about opening your social media account in China? Social media like Little Red Note?
Well, it's a unique experience because I've not been very good at social media here, but I'm told people are interested, so I value having the interaction, people asking questions, and I don't think anybody else with my background has been on the Xiaohongshu.
Yeah.
So I'm, delighted that so many people seem interested. I'm happy to spend more time on it. And it also gives me a flavour. The questions I get from the Chinese followers, it's a very good guide to what people are thinking.
Is there any question you think very unique from your Chinese followers?
Well, they say that they don't normally talk to politicians or ex-politicians. So they seem to be pleasantly surprised. And I get questions like, we watch Yes Minister program. Is this how the British politics works?
Yeah.
So what I quite enjoy is just explaining how our system here works, not in a very political way, not in a confrontational way, but just explaining the facts. I find that useful. It's, you see this here, this is where children play in the...
Oh.
You get children come in the forest and they imagine that they're creating dwellings.
So you grew up in Yorkshire,
Yeah.
and the environment you grew up, is it similar to this one or is it very different?
No, it's not similar, but I lived up on in the edge of a city, so we had some experience with nature. You would go down a country lane a short distance from my house and you see birds' nests, and we had a park nearby, so it was quite green environment.
And if you choose again where you raise your kids here, or if you choose the best place for your kids, where will it be?
Well, in many ways, yes. My own children, they grew up in Twickenham. It was a totally urban environment. There are big advantages in being in cities, right? You've got a lot of very good facilities. They were all very keen on music, so they needed to be with music teachers. But Rachel's children are very, very happy. They were brought up in this environment.
I heard from...
In the winter time, this is just bog.
Yeah.
You can feel underground. It is very boggy.
You just mentioned the most remarkable question you received from your Chinese followers is that they don't have the chance to talk about politicians like you, like the way you communicate. And today, when you picked us up and reply from the restaurant to your home, it's also very unique
Really?
experience. We can't really imagine the minister drive by himself.
Well,
Usually, he will have at least one driver and one car.
certainly UK.
Treatments.
But I think this is good. I think the public don't like politicians to have lots of privileges. They like you to be equal.
And after your visit to China and also your all communications with Chinese followers, what will you see the future like between China and the UK?
Well, I would like it to be good. I'd like, to have more students coming, British students going to China, Chinese students here. I would like to have more business arrangements. But there are lots of dangers because we have all this, geopolitics going on, a lot of division, East-West, pro-America, anti-America. It makes it quite difficult for countries like the UK because we are traditionally tied to America. because of defence, economic matters. And, oh, there's the bird again. That is a grouse.
Yeah.
Now, that's a grouse. You shoot those.
Now I see it. It won't fly very high, right?
No, no. I think that the bird there was different, the one we saw earlier. You can imagine that in the wet weather, this is very different terrain.
Yeah. And now you already have 179,000 followers
Yeah.
in Chinese social media. So, do you have any idea how, like, you vlogger already? So, do you have any idea how will you use your social media in China?
Well, I like to get more and more feedback.
Feedback about
Better good questions. What are the questions people in China are curious about? And if I can help them understand better, then that's a positive contribution.
Back to our previous question, when you do the second act in your life, besides curious about things and want to do big things, is there any other motivation or is there any other specific reasons that you change?
Well, I think it's good to move to a position where you have more responsibility. So you're not always being a junior, to have more senior position.
Yeah,
Also to have more freedom to do what you want,
yeah.
not to be under supervision all the time. And income is relevant. You know, I'm not only interested in money. I've got quite a good income, but you have all the time to think about it. When you've got young children, you have to make sure there's enough money for them. Provide some holidays, good schooling, and so on. So there are mixed motives.
And you said you are not interested with money now because you got.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm not interested. If somebody offers me a lot of money to speak at a big conference or something, of course I'm happy with that. But it's not my main motive. And if I spend quite a lot of time with charities or with, I speak in schools to try and encourage the children and so on. I don't get paid for that. So I make a distinction that what we call pro bono work, for good work,
Yeah.
most of my time, but if somebody is willing to pay me for some commercial thing and quite a lot of money, a few £1,000 for speaking at a dinner or conference, well, of course, yes, thank you.
Okay. It's like they should never get direct payment.
Well, not when you're in the office. No. When you are serving as a minister, you cannot take income. We're not like Trump. That is correct. But once you retire, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Even politicians retire, they are not just allowed to do so because we were afraid they will use their influence to gain money.
Well, there is a danger, and we do have a system. When you retire, there is a committee which decides whether your activity is acceptable. If somebody is, say, let us say they've been a minister of defence, and if they go to work for a defence company, then that is either forbidden or it is restricted. But if somebody who has worked as a defence minister wants to go and work for a company just doing computers or agriculture, well, why not? You know?
Do you have many young people in UK that come to you to ask for advice? Because before, when we were in the restaurant, you had someone recognize you and say hello to you, but she's in her like.
Yes, well, that's simply a generational thing. I left politics 6 years ago, so somebody who was a student, they won't know. They may know my name, and because they know my name, I get invited to speak in meetings and debates in universities, but as I get older, I'm more and more disconnected from that generation. So I volunteer to go to schools, you know, and the children, they want questions. How does Parliament work? What did you do? What is it like being a minister? I write a lot of books, so they want me to talk about that. How do you pursue a good career? All these questions. I enjoy doing that.
Like how you pursue your career, what kind of comments were you give to young people when they finish their study in high school or
Well, I think
university?
like Chinese students, they're quite worried. They don't know what the future, because all the jobs are disappearing with artificial intelligence. And I tell them you have to get some skills that are transferable. The key thing is to have transferable skills. So you need basic mathematics. You need a good English language, if you're certainly in the UK. But you need to be adaptable and try different things, preferably to travel to get some experience abroad. I think all of these things help it when you become grown up. I think an important thing which is happening in Britain now is that too many young people are going to university, and some of them are not getting good qualifications. So it would be better if they went to learn how to maintain cars or building, how to do building skills, or and we have what we call an apprenticeship system, which is the kind of thing they have in Germany. And the current mood in the UK is that we should be encouraging students to do vocational stuff rather than necessarily going to university to get a degree.
So you think those should also actually the Chinese government is also encouraging more students not to go to university, but to get the professional skills.
Yes, we're in exactly the same position.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, but the thing is, we always like, you know, in Korea, in UK, it's like different Korea are more or less the same, and people get similar payment actually. For example, the air conditioner worker get similar payment as my supervisor in Cambridge actually. But so it's easy to persuade young people to pursue a different career path. But in China, when it becomes huge payment gap, I mean, for the white collar officers, they earn like 3 times or 5 times salary compared with the blue collar workers.
That's less so here now. There are some types of jobs where you can get very, very high pay at the beginning, like very good accountants or very, very good lawyers, but many lawyers get nothing. I mean, if you are a criminal lawyer, very low income.
Yeah.
But if you're a very, very good commercial lawyer, there is a big demand. But in general, the distinction between the white collar and the blue collar, it's breaking down.
So do you think with the development of AI?
Well, this will make it even more so.
Okay. You said your suggestion for young people in the AI world is like get more transformable skills. And,
Yes, exactly, yeah.
With more.
Because we're discovering that young people who have basic coding, they're no longer needed. But there's always a need for people who can maintain the machines. Because the machines have got to operate, the electricity system has got to operate, and the people who have the skills to do that, they're in big demand. Yeah.
But when
the people who look after the plumbing in houses and buildings, they're enormous demand.
I think for many young people in China, they also have difficulty asking you questions because they are not familiar with what politicians do in UK and what kind of question they could specifically ask you. So could you give some directions about asking you questions? What kind of question were you asking?
Well, our system you have freedom to ask questions, right? It's not embarrassing to ask difficult questions. So people can ask questions about anything.
Okay.
Even if the government doesn't like it. You've got to distinguish between the government and people in parliament or local councils who are not in the government. Because the job of the opposition is to ask difficult questions, not to be frightened, but to ask difficult questions. And that's part of the way our system works here.
What's the most difficult question have you ever asked as the opposite party?
Well, there are many things. We challenging how the government's spending money, about alleged corruption. It's not very common in Britain, but it does happen. And that's probably the most difficult area. If you are suspecting that there is some too close relationship with a company and some officials, but you have a duty to challenge.
And before, you focused the economic crisis in 2008.
Yeah.
And what will you see the future of economics?
Well, I did explain long before the crash that the housing market had got out of control, and the government should have intervened to stop it. And they didn't, and we had a very bad crash. And I fear the same problem has happened in China, right? You get an overheated housing market. So yes, I did warn about that. And I think we're in danger of something very similar happening now with this, but mainly in the United States, not so much here, with these AI companies that have got a valuation on the stock exchange which is not really related to their earnings. And at some point there will be a sharp reduction, and that could create something of a crisis.
Regarding this, we have what do you think will be the good practice in UK or EU that the US or China can learn from?
Well, I think the US is following a different path on artificial intelligence. They're basically trying to build up the most advanced learning models Whereas I get the impression that in China, the level of sophistication isn't as high, but China is trying to spread it more widely. But the big thing everybody is now worried about is this extreme concentration of wealth, of small number of individuals becoming not just billionaires, but trillionaires. People are getting very angry about it. And so what has to happen is that some of that wealth is taken away from those people and channeled towards the government or the public at large. And there are kind of new ideas being discussed as to how that happened. You can have through taxation, through some compulsory spreading of shares to make the wealth more equal. But this is becoming a very big problem here. I mean, I think even in China, people worry about this also.
Yeah, Chinese people do worry about this. And many people ask about this. In the future, there will be a world of no work. So
I don't believe that. No,
So
people have said that many times in the past when we had machines in factories, when tractors came in agriculture, when we had computers, when we had software. People said, "Oh, this will make work." And I don't believe that. There is no historical reason for believing that. A lot of individuals are affected by rapid change, but the idea of a future without work makes no sense to me. Bad economics.
So you don't think there will be a future of no work?
No, absolutely.
What will the future be?
There will be new jobs. I mean, if you look at I think the top 10 professions now, they didn't exist a few years ago. So that some jobs are disappearing, new jobs are being created, different type. And there will, even with robots, there will be a demand for jobs that have personal skills, teaching, nursing, caring. These things will not change. This is what they call ancient and ornamental woodland. This is the mixture of trees that has been there forever. And they try to stop new species coming in. This is the forest as it was many, many thousands of years ago. So the British Empire was only 200, 300 years.
Yeah.
1700, 1750 to about 300. No more than 300.
Okay.
I would say, I'm just, nobody counted that there is a day it starts. It's just a gradual process. But now it's finished.
You encourage the young people to experience more and probably go to foreign countries to know how things will be like. And but I mean, for young people, how could they do that? Because I mean, in UK, people are very used to do a gap year.
Yeah.
But in China, it's like everyone will push you, said you will be late for something. You will be late for something.
Yeah, well, to give an example, I have two grandchildren. One of them has just gone to Nottingham University to study law, but he spent the gap year in South America. He travelled on his own on buses across Latin America. Rachel's daughters, granddaughters have done the same. One young woman went to South America, another has been in Canada, but they're travelling the world. And my grandson, who went to South America this summer, he's in Kenya, in Africa, spending 3 months just traveling, doing local work, you know, and learning about things. Obviously, you need the opportunity. You need somebody to
Found you.
help you to get started. But I very strongly recommend people do that where they can. We have an advantage because you can speak English in most parts of the world, but Chinese is more difficult. Well, we get very lazy because we don't have to learn, so we don't. I tried learning several languages and I've forgotten. German, French, Spanish, Kiswahili in Africa, but I've forgotten them because you don't use them.
You started your career in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
Is that the reason you recommend your grandson to have?
Well, it's because my late wife's family, some of them are still there. And they've invited him to go and stay with them and he can try and travel around. So he has a secure base. It's difficult if you don't know anybody. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. What if you don't know anybody or you don't have any foreign connections? What do you think? Young people like this, that's a very common situation for most of the young people in China, right?
Well, what I did, I got together with a group of friends, so I'm not on my own. And we bought an old van and we drove from UK to India.
Drove from UK to India. How long does it take you?
Well, it took about a month.
A month?
And then I drove around India. We went through Soviet Union, Afghanistan, Iran, difficult places. But you learn a lot, you know, because you have to deal with difficulties. And
You met with during that very unique journey. Do you meet with any risks?
Yes,
dangerous
quite a lot of dangers, but we survived.
Yeah, could you give us an example about any dangers you still remember?
Well, I mean, traveling through the Soviet Union, the people were very suspicious. The border guards, you know, what are these cameras? Are you taking pictures of the wrong things? And there was one occasion we got lost and we finished up outside a nuclear missile place.
Wow!
Anyway, the soldiers were very friendly. They gave us a beer.
I'll give you a beer. They didn't arrest you.
No.
Okay.
But you're running a risk, obviously. And I think several of the people in my group, they had very bad stomach problems, dysentery and...
Okay.
They were worrying you're going to miss the train.
Oh. Yeah, let's go.
So we have to hurry now, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm so interested with your experience in the Soviet Union. So what's your impression when you first see it? Do you foresee any like features about the crash of the Soviet Union when you visited?
Well, you realize when you travel that although there are some things that were very modern, actually it was still not a very developed place. Women were doing all the hard work on the building sites. The shortage of men was a very striking impression. And the Soviet Union did not have sophisticated technology like modern China, only in defense and space, nothing else. And then, well, we went through Ukraine, and then
Ukraine.
Georgia, Armenia, and then into Iran, and across Afghanistan. But that was before the Afghan wars, so it was a peaceful place.
So
But we got to India. I travelled a lot, and that was I fell in love with India. Really, I love I love going ever since.
what makes you like India most?
Oh, it's an incredible diversity of things happening, and you walk down a street and you see 20, 30 things you've never seen in your life before. Incredible experience. Also, of course, I married somebody who's Indian heritage, so I had a family reason also for going. I also felt very safe.
Because
In many parts of the world, you worry about robbery or disease and so on, but I never felt unsafe in India. Well, these are all the places that are important to Rachel's life. So she has Cambridge, Twickenham, Amber, where she was born, and Shetland, where she lived, Aberagi, where her daughter lives, and it gives the mileage and the direction.